Have you ever wondered where your American passport can't take you? Prepare to be shocked, as we uncover the top 12 countries where Americans are not welcome. From hidden dangers to political turmoil, these destinations will leave you stunned and curious. Stay tuned, because number 7 is absolutely mind-blowing. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to source for fascinating and sometimes shocking travel insights. If you love uncovering hidden travel truths and learning about the world in unexpected ways, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss out on our latest videos. Now, let's dive into today's intriguing topic: the top 12 countries where Americans are not allowed. Traveling is a passion for many, offering a chance to explore new cultures, taste exotic foods, and see breathtaking sights. However, geopolitical tensions, historical events, and specific national policies can sometimes restrict access to certain destinations based on your nationality. Americans, despite their powerful passport, are not exempt from such restrictions. Various factors, including diplomatic relations, security concerns, and past incidents, can lead to travel bans or severe entry restrictions for U.S. citizens. Understanding these restrictions is crucial, not just for planning your next vacation, but also for gaining insight into the complex and often strained relationships between nations. It highlights the importance of diplomacy and international cooperation and serves as a reminder of how interconnected and sometimes divided our world can be. Now, let's delve into the list of countries where Americans face significant entry barriers or outright bans. 1. North Korea. North Korea, the enigmatic and secretive state, is the most restrictive country for Americans. Since 2017, the U.S. government has prohibited its citizens from traveling to this isolated nation, a decision driven by grave safety concerns. The tragic case of Otto Warmbier, an American student who was detained and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor for attempting to steal a propaganda poster, and his subsequent death, underscored the severe risks. North Korea's tightly controlled environment means that any foreigner, especially an American, is constantly monitored. The risk of arbitrary arrest, harsh punishment, and prolonged detention looms large. While the idea of witnessing Pyongyang's grandiose military parades or exploring the eerie, deserted streets might seem intriguing, the reality is far more perilous. The lack of diplomatic relations and consular support leaves Americans vulnerable in a country where the rule of law is virtually non-existent. 2. Iran. Iran, a land of ancient civilizations and rich cultural heritage, is almost a forbidden fruit for American travelers. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979 and the subsequent hostage crisis, U.S.-Iran relations have been fraught with tension. Americans face an arduous visa process, often requiring them to be part of guided tours with strict itineraries. Even those who manage to secure a visa are subjected to close scrutiny and restrictions. The beautiful landscapes of Iran, from the stunning architecture of Isfahan to the historic ruins of Persepolis, remain largely inaccessible to American tourists. The portrayal of Iran in Western media, coupled with ongoing geopolitical issues, exacerbates the difficulty. For the few who navigate these complexities, the rewards include experiencing a country with a vibrant history and welcoming people, though always under a watchful eye. 3. Libya. Libya, once known for its stunning Mediterranean coast and ancient ruins, has descended into chaos and violence. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, the country has been engulfed in civil war. The U.S. Department of State has issued a strict travel advisory, warning Americans to avoid all travel due to the severe risks. Militias control large parts of Libya, and the central government's power is weak, leading to widespread lawlessness. The risk of kidnapping, violent crime, and terrorist attacks is extremely high. The beautiful Roman ruins of Leptis Magna and the picturesque town of Ghadames are now overshadowed by the constant threat of violence. The lack of a functioning government and consular services makes it incredibly dangerous for any American to venture into Libya. 4. Syria. Syria, a country with a rich tapestry of history, has become synonymous with war and destruction. The civil war that began in 2011 has devastated the nation, turning cities like Aleppo and Damascus into battlegrounds. The U.S. government has banned all travel to Syria, citing extreme safety risks. The ongoing conflict, presence of terrorist groups, and the risk of kidnapping make it one of the most dangerous places in the world. Ancient sites, once teeming with tourists, now lie in ruins. The humanitarian crisis, with millions displaced and in dire need of aid, further compounds the peril. Any American attempting to visit Syria would face not only immense physical danger but also the harsh reality of a nation in turmoil. 5. Yemen. Yemen, with its unique landscapes and historic cities, is a country torn apart by war. The civil war, which erupted in 2014, has led to one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. The U.S. government advises against all travel to Yemen due to the extreme dangers. Terrorist activities, armed conflict, and widespread famine make it a highly volatile destination. The ancient city of Sana'a, with its iconic tower houses, is now largely inaccessible. For Americans, the risk of kidnapping, violence, and lack of consular support makes Yemen an incredibly dangerous place. The country's infrastructure is in ruins, and the constant threat of attacks makes any travel there exceedingly perilous. 6. Venezuela. Venezuela, once a wealthy nation with abundant natural resources, is now plagued by economic collapse and political instability. The U.S. government has imposed travel restrictions due to severe safety concerns. Crime rates have skyrocketed, with kidnappings and violent robberies becoming common. Political turmoil, marked by mass protests and government crackdowns, has further destabilized the country. Americans traveling to Venezuela face the risk of arbitrary arrest and detention, especially in urban areas like Caracas. The scarcity of basic necessities, including food and medicine, adds to the peril. Despite its natural beauty and cultural richness, Venezuela's current state makes it a hazardous destination for American travelers. 7. Cuba. Cuba, just 90 miles from Florida, is a land of vibrant culture and historical intrigue, yet remains a challenging destination for Americans. Despite the thaw in relations during the Obama administration, recent years have seen the reinstatement of travel restrictions. Americans must navigate a complex web of regulations, often needing special licenses for educational or cultural purposes. The economic embargo complicates matters further, limiting financial transactions and access to services. However, those who manage to visit Cuba can experience its unique charm, from the colonial architecture of Havana to the pristine beaches of Varadero. The juxtaposition of its lively streets and political restrictions makes Cuba a fascinating yet restricted destination. 8. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, known for its vast deserts and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, presents significant challenges for American travelers. While not outright banned, the kingdom's stringent visa policies and conservative social norms impose numerous restrictions. Women, in particular, face strict dress codes and limitations on movement, especially when traveling alone. Recent reforms have slightly eased access, yet the country remains cautious in opening its doors. Those who do visit can explore the futuristic cityscapes of Riyadh and the ancient rock formations of Al Ula. However, the complex bureaucracy and ongoing human rights concerns make Saudi Arabia a challenging place for Americans to navigate. 9. Russia. Russia, the vast nation stretching across Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, has become increasingly difficult for Americans to visit. Heightened diplomatic tensions have led to stricter visa requirements and bureaucratic hurdles. Surveillance of foreign visitors has intensified, and reports of harassment have surfaced. Despite these challenges, Russia's rich history and cultural heritage continue to attract the intrepid traveler. From the grandeur of Moscow's Red Square to the artistic treasures of St. Petersburg's Hermitage Museum, the allure is undeniable. However, the tense political climate and increased restrictions make it a daunting destination for Americans. 10. Sudan. Sudan, with its Nile River and ancient pyramids, faces severe travel restrictions due to ongoing conflict and political instability. The U.S. Department of State warns Americans against traveling to Sudan, highlighting the risks of terrorism, armed conflict, and violent crime. The country's transitional government struggles to maintain stability, and the potential for violence remains high. Despite its rich history and cultural significance, the lack of infrastructure and security makes it a perilous place for American travelers. The possibility of sudden outbreaks of violence and the absence of reliable government services further underscore the dangers. 11. Somalia. Somalia, situated on the Horn of Africa, is notorious for its lawlessness and piracy. The ongoing conflict with terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab and the absence of a stable government create an environment of extreme risk. The U.S. government strongly advises against all travel to Somalia, citing the high likelihood of kidnapping, murder, and terrorist attacks. The lack of infrastructure and government services exacerbates the dangers. Despite its strategic location and historical significance, Somalia remains one of the most hazardous destinations for Americans. The constant threat of violence and instability makes it an unequivocal no-go zone. 12. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a land of rugged mountains and ancient history, has become increasingly perilous for Americans. The resurgence of the Taliban and the ongoing conflict have made it a highly dangerous place to visit. The U.S. government has long-standing travel advisories against traveling to Afghanistan due to the risks of terrorism, armed conflict, and kidnapping. The withdrawal of American troops and the collapse of the Afghan government have left a volatile and unpredictable situation. For those who once sought to explore its cultural heritage and scenic landscapes, the current security risks make travel there exceedingly dangerous. The lack of consular support and the pervasive threat of violence underscore the extreme danger of visiting Afghanistan. Travel restrictions can be frustrating, but they serve as a reminder of the diverse and often complex relationships between countries. Always check for the latest travel advisories and ensure you are fully informed before planning your trips. If you found this video informative and eye-opening, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more captivating travel stories and insights. Until next time, safe travels and stay curious.